So chapter 8 is called Consumer Math. So first, section 8.1 is called Percents, Taxes, and Inflation. So first we'll talk about percents. So write each of the following percentage as a decimal. Okay, so if I have 30% of something, in order to write that as a decimal, I need to move the decimal place to the left twice. So this equals 0.30 as a number. Right, as a percent, it's 30, but in order to type it into my calculator, it's 0.3. So what if I have 125%? What is that as a decimal? 1.25. So if you ever want to type a percentage into your calculator, you have to write it as a decimal. What if I have 13.2%? .132. Okay. What if I have 0.02%? What is it? Trying to trick you guys. You always move it to the left 2 points. So I have to move this to the left. Good. Like I think for student loans, if you sign up for an automatic payment, you can save 0.25%. It's still money, right? I'm in for money, but it's small. Any sort of a benefit, I'm in for though. All right. So percent comes from Latin for percentum, which means per 100. So that's why we're moving it over. So should we, I think this is good, yeah. We don't need to convert the decimal to the percentage, right? We're just moving the decimal place over. So when you guys have student loans, do you know what your percentage, your interest rate is? No?
Not off the top of my head.
Does anybody know what their interest rate is for their student loan?
I don't have any student loans.
You are very lucky.
I know it's really low.
Oh, what do you mean really low? Okay, you guys. Okay.
Are we freaking
Does
out?
nobody know their interest rate?
I could look it up.
That's concerning. Okay.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Nobody knows their interest rate for a student loan? I mean, I don't know if everybody has student loans or not, right? Okay, you guys need to find that out. So it's something really easy not to think about because you don't have to pay it right now, right? But I told you that a difference in a percentage. So when did I tell you guys this? When we were talking about refinancing our house, and so it's basically like you refinance it, but you get the interest rate for today as opposed to when you bought the house. And the difference of 1%, so the guy told us would change our monthly payment by about $100 a month, just for a 1% interest rate. So it seems like not a big deal, right? 0.25, but even 0.25% is pretty huge at that point, right? That's like $25 a month. I mean, I know a house payment is a lot different than student loans, right? Hopefully you don't have that much out in student loans as the same as a house, but it's a huge difference. All right, so you guys should go and figure that out. Did you look at the average student loan rate?
Yeah, for interest rates for 2018 through 2019, direct subsidized loans is 5.05%, and direct unsubsidized loans for grad students is 6.60%.
So I don't think you guys have direct, probably. You probably have federal. Is that right? Probably have federal. So it's not grad school, obviously. But I think
5.5%.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so figure that out so that when we're doing stuff about student loans, like we could actually do stuff and I'm not just randomly choosing numbers. Okay? Maybe I'll call financial aid then too. Figure out if they can give me any sort of information. Student loans can be pretty killer, friends. It costs a lot of money to be here, right? And I think student loans are typically paid back within 10 years. And I think if you pay the minimum every single time, you're actually paying like 1.5 times as much.
I looked it up. If you had all the student loans and you didn't pay it off, or you didn't have someone pay it off, maybe you got like $120,000 in just student loan debts.
But that depends on how much you're paying, right?
Yeah.
And your interest rate. So the lower interest rate you can get, obviously, the better. But also, you might think you're paying $1,000 per credit or something. I have no idea how much it is. You might think you're paying $1,000 per credit, but if you pay it off at the slowest possible rate, you could be actually paying 1.5 times as much as you're taking out.
Better than Duke.
Yeah, so different schools cost different amounts, right?
Yeah, I think their out-of-state tuition is like $75,000. Okay. I could talk about this forever. Obviously, I have student loans, right? It's a big deal. Like, a payment for a student loan, that's why a lot of people, like, they're saying it's a national crisis because a lot of people have these student loans and they can't buy a house because of it. Because they have such huge payments so it can be a lot. So you really have to kind of think about that and plan, right? I feel like I'm lecturing you guys about student loans, but we're going to talk about it. I'll make sure I'll call a couple of student loans companies to make sure I'm calculating it in the correct ways so that I'm giving you guys good information. But I do want to know approximately your interest rate so that we can calculate some good stuff. Okay? Can you guys do that? I see one person saying yes. So we'll calculate that person's student loan. Okay, so we talked about how to change a percentage to a decimal. And now we're going to talk about percent change. Okay, so let me give you a formula. The formula for percent change percent of change equals new amount. I need to write smaller. So that equals the new amount minus your base amount all divided by your base amount. Sorry, I tried. So this is the formula for percent change. So your new amount is obviously your new amount, right? I can't write that any differently. Your base amount is your previous amount. So you might see previous amount or your base amount. Okay, let's do an example. So a lot of these are word problems because they have to do with money, right? So assume a 12-pack of Red Bull costs $18.02 in 2010 and $19.58 in 2015. What is the percent change? In this time period? Okay, so basically I know this formula, I know the percent change formula, and I just need to identify my new amount and my base amount, right? And then plug it into the formula. So my previous amount is obviously the older amount. And my latest amount is my new amount. Right? Yada, yada, yada. I need to figure out the information I need to get from there. The information I need is I need to know the new amount and the base amount or the previous amount, right? That's it. So from all of those words, it could have told you what the weather was like. It could have told you your average income. If it's asking you for the percentage change, you need to go into that word problem and find those two pieces of information, and that's it. Doesn't matter what else they tell you. So solution, percent change equals the new amount, which is 19.58, minus your base amount, or your previous amount, which is 18.02, and I'm going to divide by my base amount, which is 18.02. So this is new minus base divided by base, right? So who's got a calculator?
Use a phone calculator.
Pardon?
Use a phone calculator.
Yeah, everybody has their phone out. I know everybody's not calculating percentage change. I can obviously see people texting. Okay, so 19.58. So what's important when you're using, if you have a calculator like this, or even if you're using your phone, you need to do the numerator, right, the top of the fraction, enter, and then divide it, right? It's the whole numerator divided by the whole denominator. Yes. So divide by 18.02. Okay, so that equals 0.0866. We'll round. So what percentage that? What percentage is that? It's about 8%, right? 8.5%. So this is the decimal form of your percentage, right? Okay, so let's talk about the calculator. Do you guys know how to use the calculator? Okay, so I need to make sure my entire numerator, if you're using your phone, this is how you should do it. You should do the numerator equals divided by the denominator. Okay? If you have a calculator like this, you can do parentheses around the numerator divided by parentheses around the denominator. Okay? And let me show you why. So if I don't do the parentheses in the numerator and I just say 19.58 minus 18.08 divided by 18.08, what is this actually doing with what I just wrote?
It's 0.08.
Okay, it doesn't matter. What am I actually calculating with this? So if I just type it into my calculator as 19.58 minus 18.02 divided by 18.02, your calculator does order of operations, right? Mm-hmm. It does multiplication and division first. So it's dividing this, which is 1. So it's saying this minus 1, right? So you have to do order of operations. You have to simplify the numerator, simplify the denominator. So when you do this in your calculator, you have to have parentheses. Okay? So that it divides that whole numerator. If you don't have parentheses, this is what you're getting at is very wrong, right? Okay? So that's the percentage change. So this is actually like 8.66%. Okay? Let's do another example. So this is number 2. So I could write out a whole bunch of stuff, right? So a car store is having an end of year clearance. Which claims that all cars are sold at 5% markup over the dealer's cost. A new Honda is for sale for $23,302. You find out that the the dealer's cost is $21,339. Is the dealer being honest? Okay, so a car store is having an end-of-year clearance that claims that all cars are sold at a 5% markup over the dealer's cost. A new Honda is for sale for $23,302. You find out that the dealer's cost is $21,339. Is the dealer being honest? So what are we checking?
The dealer's cost is the same as.
If it is 5%.
If it actually is 5%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're saying that this is the percent markup. So I need to check to see what the percentage changes.
Mm-hmm.
So solution, percent change. So what's my new amount? What's my base amount? So let me rewrite this. So this is selling cost. So our new amount is our selling cost minus dealer cost over dealer cost. So that's the percent markup. So now I need to label my stuff, right? So selling cost is what? The $23,000. The dealer's cost is obviously here. So now I need to go in and plug in my stuff. So what did you guys get?
I got 0.0919.
0.0919?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is that?
9.2%.
9.2%. So really the markup is 9% and not 5%. So he's not being honest, right?
No.
Okay, so we'll stop here for today. I just